Laurent Gbagbo in support of his bid to retain power. Now, the alleged arms shipment comes as a week of gun battles between forces loyal to Gbagbo and his rival Alassane Ouattara, recognised as the winner of the November elections, risk pushing the country back to full-blown civil war. Well, I'm joined now by Youssoufou Bamba. He is the Ivory Coast ambassador to the United Nations. He was appointed by Alassane Ouattara, who is recognised by the international community as the legitimate winner of November's election. He joins me now from the UN studio. Mr. Bamba, Belarus has denied these claims. What evidence do you have that they have supplied the helicopters?
Yes, as usual, thank you for this opportunity given to me to express the deep concern of the government, the President of Côte d'Ivoire. Of course, this news, this report of Belarus violation of the embargo is really, really disturbing, because what is going on now on the ground is Mr. Gbagbo forces and militias, mercenaries, and new fact, the youngsters, the young from the so-called youth patriots, and some unemployed young have been given weapons, and they are perpetrating killing on people with Nordic names, people from the region of Mr. Ouattara. And
yeah, but can I just repeat my question? What proof, what evidence do you have that Belarus has broken the arms embargo?
Madam, we have, there is monitoring on the ground in Yamoussoukro, and there is some intelligence capability, as well as the United Nations peacekeeping operations there, as other people. So I couldn't give on the table right now, because the Security Council will deal with that matter, and that's the place those evidence will be shown.
It's indisputable. These weapons have arrived. They are being used by Gbagbo. But let me ask you this question. Isn't the army anyway loyal to Laurent Gbagbo? What difference will these attack helicopters make?
Yes, because let me put it, the Ivorian army is 55,000 strong people. Out of this number, only less than 5,000 are loyal to Mr. Gbagbo, and those are coming from his tribe and people allies to his tribe. And they are well equipped, of course, but Mr. Gbagbo has no, let's say, no popularity in the army. The barracks, when the vote has been done, the barracks had voted for more than 70% for Mr. Ouattara. So he knows, and another fact is he's hiring many mercenaries and militia from Liberia. That's a proof that he has no support in the army. That's why he needs extra power from the air to suppress the population. That's what is important to note.
So air power is very important.
Making a war against the civilian population. That is very, very disturbing. And I said 2 months ago, Côte d'Ivoire was the brink of genocide. But I'm very comforted to tell you now, this genocide is in progress. Right now, as we speak in Côte d'Ivoire, something should be done, and the Security Council will address that matter.
Ambassador, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's get the business news now. Tanya Beckett's here. Tanya.
Kirsty, thanks very much. Yes, Europe's biggest bank, HSBC, has posted a $19 billion profit for the past year. That's more than 2.5 times higher than the same figure for 2009. Much of that jump is due, though, to a fall in bad loan charges at its businesses in the United States. The BBC's Ben Morris reports.
Chief Executive Stuart Gulliver and his team have been in charge since the beginning of the year, which is not much time to make an impact.
We already know a little about HSBC's new strategy. They're targeting savers across Asia. The bet is that managing their money will be a profitable and growing business. They're also targeting Asian companies. They want to sell them services, in particular areas like financing trade.
Hong Kong and China now account for almost a third of HSBC's profits. Europe has fallen back to around 20% of earnings. And the United States has become much less significant, with just 2% of global profits. Traders are worried, though, about the outlook for HSBC.
We've got to ask ourselves, is this as good as it gets for HSBC? It's facing increased competition in its one of its most established markets, which is Hong Kong / China, from likes of Citigroup, and it's probably not playing on a level playing field as well, because a number of its competitors have received bailouts from their respective governments, whereas HSBC didn't access government funding as well.
Chief Executive Stuart Gulliver is being well rewarded for taking on those challenges. In 2010, his pay package totaled around $10 million. HSBC will argue that's a fair deal for a giant bank that did not need a bailout from taxpayers. Ben Morris, BBC News.
And a very brief look at what's happening on the stock market, set for their third consecutive monthly rise, in fact. Of course, we've seen strong rises since September. The S&P up just about. Worries over Libya has held them back in recent days. Kirsty, back to you.
Thanks, Tanya. You're watching World News Today on the BBC. Still to come. After the tyrant was toppled, why has Iraq's government begun rebuilding some of Saddam Hussein's boldest monuments?